Hi everyone, Simon Keeling here at weatherweb.net. It is Wednesday the 19th of June and thanks again for watching. Now, stirred quite a bit of a debate on the statements I made yesterday regarding the meeting at a certain weather centre in the UK, which was talking about the unusual stroke extreme stroke strange weather that we've been experiencing over the last few years, and of course the link back into climate change. Some fascinating comments on the website, so make sure that you go and have a look at those. Now, one of the first times I've ever seen one of these meetings come out saying that solar variability may well play a part in climate change. So I wanted to show you this chart first of all today. This is total solar irradiance from the 21st of March until the 12th of June. And what it shows us is the total irradiance in watts per metre squared, and you can see here, look, how it varies, but not by a great deal. Look, this is 1,361 watts, this is 1,362 watts per metre squared, and what it shows us here is, look, that we saw this dip into the early part of May. We then saw an increase in total solar irradiance from the early part of May, and we've seen that increase really through until just a few days ago when we saw this drop off here as irradiance decreased again. Now, really there isn't much understanding as to the parts day-to-day variation in irradiance makes, but there is research going on at the moment, and undoubtedly there is some impact there. And it's just useful to monitor the spells when irradiance is low and when it's strongest. I mean, for example, just looking at this and just trying to make a brief correlation. Remember our cold spring? Well, just look at how low the total solar irradiance was, and of course it was a cold spring not only for us but for much of Europe too, so it's just interesting to look at these charts. Now, I'm not suggesting for one moment that there is the direct link between irradiance and the cold spring, but it's just interesting just to look at it and say, well, actually I can kind of place a link in there somewhere, and of course that's the basis then for future research. As far as the sunspot count goes, we're in cycle 24, and this is the forecast. The dotted line is the forecast of cycle 24. You can see that it reached a peak early and now it's come off, and it looks like we're just getting into this period here where we are going to see a peak in cycle 24 before it eases off. But you can see how the sun is being far quieter through cycle 24 than through 23 or 22. But back to the forecast, back to the bits we do understand, and it looks like we are going to see a settling down of the weather as we go into next week, and this is picked up in the 5-day chunks of rainfall. This is the 1 to 5 day forecast rainfall ending at 6 o'clock next Monday morning, and you can see how most of the rainfall is affecting western parts of Scotland, Western Ireland. We've got 20 to 30 millimetres, also across parts of Wales too. For many, we're typically around 15 to 20 mil, but you can see it's quite a damp period. Now compare that to day 6 to 10, so this is the period ending at 7 AM on Saturday the 29th, and you see there that most places by then have got 4 to 10 millimetres of total rainfall. This little bit down in the southeast generated by rain that we could see very early in this period, and also bits and pieces of rain just affecting western Scotland at times coming in off the sea, but you can see a drier period overall. And much dry weather as well into the final part of the period here. I think much of the rainfall here in the south is overdone. I think we're probably going to be seeing totals here between 1 and 3 millimetres, if that. I think here through northern parts of Ireland, through Scotland, yes, we could be seeing around 10 millimetres of rain from fronts just moving in at times off the sea, but for most I think it's going to be much drier. And there's a chart we haven't looked at for some time, the North Atlantic Oscillation. And if we just zoom in on the bit that we're interested in, this is the 14-day forecast. The black line shows us where we are at the moment, going positive, having been negative, look, for quite a while. Going into positive territory now. And the blue line here is the mean of the ensembles, and you can see there that they tend to keep us neutral to positive, which indicates more westerly winds coming in across the Atlantic. The Arctic Oscillation also shows similar things. Not so good to use this during the summer months, but still useful to give you an idea as how strong the winds are, the prevailing westerly winds around the pole. And you see here that, look, it's just tracking along in neutral to positive territory. So fairly strong winds up at the poles as well. Or I should say not strong winds, near normal winds. Now what that results in is more of a flow coming in from the Atlantic, but indications of this building pressure taking place. Now we've got low pressure in control during this weekend, bringing some unsettled, wet and windy conditions, but this is the position by the time we get into next Tuesday, 7 o'clock next Tuesday morning. Look, the ensemble predicts this ridge of high pressure being in. That would bring dry conditions for many places, and the trough here by then clearing away eastwards, so any residual showers from the east soon clearing away, most places dry. And that westerly flow prevailing as well. This then is the chart for the 1st of July. So this would be Monday the 1st of July. More of a westerly flow. But you can see their pressure of 1016 in the south. So that indicates dry conditions through southern areas. There probably will be some weak fronts, probably somewhere through here, producing some spots of drizzle and rain across Scotland and northern and western parts of Ireland. Again, particularly northern and western parts of Scotland. But for most, it is going to be generally dry, particularly down to the south. And even right at the end of the period, this is the 5th of July. So this really is going forward now to Friday the 5th of July. And again, look, here's the ridge off the Atlantic. What's happening here is these southwesterly winds are pumping in the heights, building them all the time, and we get fronts brushing northern and western Scotland. But for most of the UK, conditions staying mainly on the dry side. So this idea of a dry end to June and beginning of July looks as if it's going to come to fruition. Problem is, the question mark is, what happens after that? And that's what I'm going to try and work on in tomorrow's forecast. But for now, thanks for watching and keep the sun shining. Don't forget that the site's kept free of charge by the adverts that you see around the screen. By you coming back, using the adverts and using the site, that generates the revenue that keeps us free of charge and enables us to keep posting and keep recording the videos for you. So thank you for your support and whatever you do, have a great day and keep the sun shining. Bye for now.